What? What do you do?
So now are you an empty nester?
I want to say welcome to everybody for tonight's meeting. I'd like to call this special meeting of the Hinckley Township Board of Trustees to order on Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of a public hearing to hear public comment on proposed zoning resolution amendments. Call the roll. Asherle?
Here.
Engelmann?
Here.
Sweattick? Here. Got 2, 6, and 7 members of the public. Trustee Engelmann.
All right, first need to read the notice of the hearing, so I will do that. The subject of the hearing is as follows: review proposed amendment AM 0023, request to the Hinckley Township zoning resolution for the Township Zoning Commission as follows: amendment request to zoning regs, amendments to the following chapters: Chapter 4, Section 4.17, medicinal marijuana, Chapter 6, 6R 1.3.J and 6R 2.3J. Conditionally permitted uses, adding short-term dwelling rentals and short-term owner-occupied dwelling units to include changes associated with adding language related to as follows: Chapter 6, Section 6B-1, 6B-2, and 6B-3, subsection 6B.3.3.f, schedule of use of permitted use. Chapter 7, conditional zoning certificates, Section 7.5C, supplemental regulations. Chapter 11, sections 11.4, preliminary site plan submission, and sections 11.5, final site plan submission and associated changes, grammatical changes for consistent references to numbering and formatting. After the conclusion of this hearing, within 20 days, the Township Board of Trustees shall either adopt, deny, or modify the recommendations of the Township Zoning Commission's recommendations. A majority of the Township Board of Trustees A majority vote of the Township Board of Trustees shall be required. Copies of the proposed amendments are available for public viewing from the date of this notice to the date of hearing of the zoning at the zoning department located in the administration building at 1410 Ridge Road, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Information may also be found on the Hinckley website at www.hinkleytwp.org under Township News and Events titled Trustee-Public Hearing. All interested parties are asked to attend the hearing. Written comments may be sent to Hinckley Township Zoning Commission, PO 344, Hinckley, Ohio 44233. Log in to www.hinkleytwp.org for virtual Zoom option to observe, listen only. So attached here is a letter as required in the proper timeline from the Zoning Commission. In accordance with ORC 519.12, they passed on May 8th by a vote of 5-0, passed a motion recommending approval of the text amendments that are attached to this letter. The amendments were submitted to Medina County Department of Planning Services on March 10th, 2025. And on May 7th, 2025, the Medina County Planning Commission voted to recommend approval of the text amendments with modification. Those modifications were incorporated into the text amendment that were recommended to us for approval by the Zoning Commission and enclosed herein. And per Ohio Revised Code Section 519, we are now in the next step of the process, which is for us to hold a public hearing, which is what we're doing here today. So to start, I will ask if Zoning Chair Matthew Marzullo would mind coming to the podium and just briefly summarizing what some of these changes are.
Good evening. Matt Marzullo, Zoning Chair. So the majority of this is actually is grammatical more so than anything. Specifically, when you're looking at section 4.17, it's just it's adopting a lot of the verbiage that's already in the resolution adopted by the trustees previously. The only real substantial, I should say, contextual adjustments we've made are including some information regarding short-term dwelling rentals and short-term owner-occupied dwelling rentals. Now, we had previously defined what those two were, and ultimately, it's just any home that's going to rent even a part of it for 30 days or less is considered a short-term rental. Most of this was going to be grammatical and changing the numberings and whatnot. But ultimately, what we came out with was short-term dwelling rentals and short-term owner-occupied dwelling rentals. Just kind of establishing, all right, how many people are allowed to be in each location, and that is defined by how many bedrooms are in the are on record with the assessor's office. Just outlining specifically that it can't be used for parties. Just making sure that the short-term rentals are just as good a neighbor as our long-term rentals would be. Then the only other portion that really had some depth to it was when we started looking at what was being required for final site plan submissions. Really, we're asking, or preliminary and final site plan submissions, we're asking for people to have a digital version submitted, not just the paper version, so that it's easier to distribute across the commission, as well as having the setbacks that are necessary for each lot, so we can get an accurate idea of, all right, what is the building envelope, and knowing, all right, they're aware of what specific setbacks are, including setbacks from private roads and public roads, because they do have a different set of requirements there. Any questions?
I do not.
I don't see anything that would give us cause. It looks like it's more of a gathering additional information, which you would be seeking anyway, and it doesn't appear to be punitive in any way, so that the setbacks as not, if that's part of the original site plan, then you don't have to go back out to get it.
Yeah, that's part of it, but it's also making sure that people are aware that there are differences between a public road and a private road, specifically when we're measuring the setbacks on the arc of a cul-de-sac, and letting them decide, all right, how much frontage do I actually have?
Okay, I'm good.
So I guess at this point, we'd open it up to the public. If anybody has any comments they would like to make, they can come to the podium, state their name, address for the record, and their comment.
Hearing,
Hearing none, then I would make a motion that we close public hearing for the zoning text amendment.
okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll move to adjourn this public hearing at 6:08 PM.
Second.
Second by Asherle, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's go.